Eternal Return Black Survival is a free-to-play MOBA Battle Royale survival game available on Steam in an early access state since 14th of October 2020. You pick a hero, you choose your item build, you enter the map, loot items, craft items, PvP and hopefully win the game. In this video we'll take a closer look at the game and give a short review on it to figure out if it's worth your time investment. Welcome back everybody, it's Red Skull back at it again with another video. While scouring through the eternal depths of the Steam store, I stumbled across this game and decided to give it a shot because of the interesting sounding genre blend. So in this video I'll take you through a high kills match I played and talk about my impressions of the game's mechanics and gameplay and try to give a short review. I played the game for 8 hours to at least get a bit of a grasp on the game aside from the usual first time MOBA overload, and we'll start out with the graphics. So normally I don't really like anime style games, but this looks kind of cool, especially since the female characters aren't all over the top and don't even wear clothes at all. They're actually pretty good looking, like from a normal person's point of view. I'll have to say a lot of the characters look pretty similar though, even though there are only 29 characters existing at the moment, which isn't too bad, but it's not too much compared to other MOBA games, right? They are constantly adding new characters though, and the final goal until release, it seems, is 48 playable characters, so that's a good point to start from, I think. Overall, the graphics look kind of similar to most of the other popular MOBAs, especially the health and mana bar looks pretty much like a copy and paste from League of Legends. Abilities have cool animations and there's not much to complain about. Overall, I don't have anything bad to say about the graphics. I didn't see any bugs or glitches or whatever. They do their job and it's okay. Sound is pretty good actually. The menu music is pretty cool. In-game sound effects are satisfying and some of the character voice lines are pretty funny as well and made me giggle sometimes. Now let's go over the main mechanics. The core gameplay loop is drop onto the map, loot stuff, craft your items, kill other players until you're the only one remaining, rinse and repeat. The looting doesn't get too complicated since you can just auto pick up whatever you're looking for in your respective item build. There's predetermined item builds, you can import builds from other players, or you can make your own item loadouts and get the game to auto track it and even suggest a route through the areas for you to get your build done quickly. Some components can only be found in specific areas of the map, and some of these areas, like the forest for example, are heavily contested by other players. They also get shut down at random, so there's not like the classic Battle Royale circle closing down, but the playing field nevertheless gets smaller over time. Once you get everything you need, you just need to click the item you want to craft and hit the craft button. It's kind of annoying that you can't just craft up an item you got everything for. You have to click every component item and craft them separately and then craft the final item. So you'll open and close the menu like 3 or 4 times every time you switch the item you're looking at. This should be improved on, I think, since the overall principle of pre-planning your route through the areas and hoping to find the right components at the right time sounds like an interesting way to strategize your play, especially in the squad-based team modes when there's multiple characters in your team and everyone needs different items from different locations. Combat and movement overall feels a bit slow to me compared to most other MOBAs out there. There's not much action to be had. The combat overall is just right-click your enemy and some abilities have to be aimed, but most of them are point and click. Some of the characters have gap closers or knockbacks to get out or into trouble, but most of the time fights will go all the way with no real chance of getting out. The gameplay at the moment feels heavily RNG based to me. Sometimes you get your components super fast and dominate everyone, especially when you load up a build from a good player and have a bit of loot luck. The enemy players will have no chance of defeating you at all. There seems to be no real way of outplaying an enemy if they're just slightly ahead of you item-wise. the one with the better weapons and who's further along in his build path kinda always wins. Aside from some characters, and this is where we'll talk about the balance a bit, some characters just start 1 or 2-shotting, 3-shotting people right away on level 1 or level 2. Balance feels a bit off right now, which is actually reflected in the roster I saw myself playing against most of the time. So most of the games there's 18 players in with 18 characters, and there's kind of like only 4 to 5 actually played. So well, yeah, it seems like the balancing team has to do a bit of work to get all characters. It doesn't have to be all characters, you know, there will always be some better or worse than others, especially in a game with multiple modes. So maybe some characters are super good in team modes but lack the ability to solo carry you through a game. But you need to try to get at least a good solid cast of characters playable and competitive to actually get this MOBA feeling of every round is different and you'll never experience the same game twice. The developers seem to be heavily focusing on esports right now, marketing a lot through Twitch and already doing tournaments and pro player stuff. Even though, as I said, I think there's a lot of work still to do before the game can really capture an audience and maintain the large player base needed to support an esports scene. Especially since, in my opinion, the game wouldn't be too fun to watch since the combat is so slow and right-click, auto-hit, insta-kill based that any commentators wouldn't have too much to say, I think. Alright, let's stop the rambling about the esports and the balancing now and talk about the monetization. I think the prices are actually pretty fair. There's a premium in-game currency you can buy with money. Price-wise, it seems they took a bit of inspiration from Riot Games MOBA as well. A character costs around $10 to unlock, and most of the skins I've seen seem to be priced around that point as well. You don't have to buy the characters with real money, you can unlock them with the normal in-game currency that, as normal, you earn by completing daily quests, winning games and overall just playing the game. Completing the tutorial actually gives you enough points to unlock one of the characters, so that's quite nice actually. What's concerning to me are the huge queue times. I had to wait 5 to 7 minutes to get into a game every time, and the loading screens take forever to complete. I don't know if a lot of people playing the game are on potato computers or if that's some kind of bad optimization or whatever, but long queue times plus long loading screens plus the chance of being killed in the first 30 seconds of the game and then doing the whole waiting and loading process once again put me off a bit. Overall, I think the game has some interesting principles that need a lot of work before I could see me actually investing a lot of time into playing the game. My 8 hours with the game were fun for like 2 to 3 hours, and then it got super repetitive and kind of boring actually. It's an interesting take on the genres it's trying to blend together, but it still needs a lot of work to really carve out its niche in the environment and become something different from a blend of multiple games. I'll definitely keep a tab on the development of the game and maybe even keep you guys updated if anything big happens, if you are actually interested in this. And we'll see where Eternal Return Black Survival is going in the future. Have you guys played this game? Have you heard of it? Or are you at all interested in a game blending together so many different types of games? I want to know. Tell me down in the comment section and start the discussion. I'm always happy to hear from you guys and want to know what you think of Eternal Return Black Survival. What an awfully long name actually. We will be seeing us on the battlefields of Chivalry 2 once again in the recently announced open beta from 27th of May until 1st of June 2021. I hope to see you guys on the battlefield once more. Come in, hang out, have fun. This is it for this video. If you like the content and want to see more and maybe even get notified once I am live or upload a new video, consider to subscribe in the bottom right and you'll never have to worry about missing anything again. I hope you guys are doing well in these dire times and can find some enjoyment out of our favorite hobby. I'm always open for more suggestions of games to play and maybe cover on this channel. Remember, I have been Red Skull, you guys have been awesome. Thank you for watching and see you very soon.